2022 sharing session. We have prepared 2 sessions for the audience today. The first session will be a career sharing from a former data strategy lead from Google, Mr. Billy Kwan, as he will be sharing his experience as a data scientist at Google. As we can see on the next slide, the next event flow, where we start at 10:50 a.m., is the TalentLabs session, where Mr. Darren Chu and Mr. Sean Yip will introduce TalentLabs alongside the interesting courses and programs provided by the organization. You definitely don't want to miss this opportunity to launch your career forward, so stay tuned till the end. We are really glad and fortunate to have them to share the insights and knowledge with us today. Before we start, if you have any questions throughout the event, drop them anytime through the Slido link available at the chat box. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our first speaker, Mr. Billy Kwan. Passing the mid-session to Mr. Billy. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Let me quickly share my screen. Okay, can everyone see my screen right now?
Yes, we can see your screen clear, very clear.
Great, thank you. Hello everyone, I'm Billy. So I used to work at Google as a data strategy lead, and today I'm very happy and very glad to be invited to do this career sharing section. So who am I? So I graduated in my university as a business and marketing major, and I work for data solution and as a marketer before. And right now I'm working in media agents, in the media industry, and also in a digital marketing consultancy firm. So for today, I'm going to share what have I done and what is my role in Google, and also how do I get into this industry. And the most important part is what any tips and any advice from us to any new joiners like you guys that who really want to join this industry. So without further ado, let's get started. So my career journey is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So I joined it for a marketing agency back in 2015. So and then after I acquired enough skills, which I'm going to go through in later slides, I trying to start my own services in a very small company to do data solution with some couple connection with people in Google, and also with my experience, I'm able to join Google in 2019, and then later I'm now working as a data lead in an MNC company So that's my career right now. So without further ado, I will also go through what is my work as a data strategy lead in Google. So my day-to-day work, usually I will try to help my the digital maturity by using data solution. So usually what Google will do is kind of a framework, which really likes, is a very good framework that helps kind of identify where are they right in terms of data maturity and how they're able to improve the digital and data maturity by certain activities and also certain certain solution. So my role at Google is to identify the solution gaps that the client has and provide a corresponding solution to them. So say, for example, we identified that some data there, or they're missing data in some data, and they're not communicating each other within these two databases. And what we will propose is we will simply propose them to merging these data in a way that actually help them to migrate data, put it in database, so that they can further do analysis on data set. They can activate on this data. For example, they can do marketing on the data, or maybe they can do some personalization of data, or maybe they can do other kind of cool stuff with the data that they have in hand. And we kind of these clients in different areas. For example, whether they're doing a good job at audience targeting, or a good job at their digital asset, or where they're doing a very good job attribution. So that's my common work when I'm back in Google. So focusing on how I can propose a good solution to the customer, and using this framework to improve the client from year to year. Another thing that I did a lot of time work, and actually I'm still doing it right now today, is how can we transform data to insight to actually create action for the enterprise. So usually it will be a very simple process. We help them to collect the data in various platforms, for example, in their app, in their website, or in their marketing platform, or maybe in the marketing tool, for example, Facebook, Instagram, Google Ads, YouTube. So how do we collect all this data and make sure they orchestrate together and bring value to the customer? So we teach them and we guide them, we provide the best practice for them in terms of how we advise them to collect the data in a way that actually help them to achieve their use cases. For example, we'll interview the client and say, oh, what do you want to do with this piece of data in hand? And then after several back and forth and understanding their objective and also their marketing objectives, then we will provide a solution to help them to collect the data as they want it. And also we will help the developer team to do the collection of the data through different partners and also through different forms. And after we have the data, we will do a transformation, make sure we can understand how this data works. For example, we'll run some query, or maybe we'll some data cleansing, make sure those data can actually work for them in a certain way. So we apply models and also apply some pre-trained models to make sure the data works as what we expected. So with the insight in hand, with the result output in hand, we will do visualization, make sure we present the insight well to the customer. Because a very big part of our job is to present the insight and also the result to the customer. So we will visualize it using various tools, for example, Looker, Tableau, data studio. But obviously, there's a lot of data visualization tool in the industry, but usually we'll work with these two and then we'll visualize data with the client to convince them to do certain action. For example, we convince them to apply a recommendation engine model, or we will convince them to run a prediction model on certain behavior. So after they are convinced with the data we've visualized, then we will activate on those data. We can activate on first marketing platform, or we can even activate from their on frontline sales. Some of the things that we have done is we can send those data back to the frontline sales for further action and also for the upsell cross-selling. So these kind of stuff, from data collection to create insight and to actually activate and bring value to the enterprises, these are things that we are doing for the client. Another thing that we, of course, one of our main job is we can apply some modeling. So, for example, some machine learning modeling to make sure we have the right input and then we create the right output so that we can solve tasks for our client. For example, predicting whether user is going to purchase, predicting whether the user is going to leave to not use that app anymore, or predicting whether users is going to have the highest lifetime value in the next 28 days. These kind of things, we help using machine learning model will definitely help us to automate the process and make sure we have the right result and best result for the customer. I'm sure you will know, but using traditional approach might be a little bit more rule-based. For example, users who have read the email then did not do something, then we will do something else. By not doing this approach, using a more machine learning approach, is able to help us identify the customer much better and much more accurately. So applying these machine learning model to help the client to get that further incremental improvement is our main role at Google. So that might be a little bit too much for you guys to absorb in a very short period of time. But in short, I'm coming with some essential function that I think is very crucial for data analysts and could be a very usual, common day-to-day task for junior data analysts that you might be interested in. So for example, for essential function, I think for most part, we will be focusing on data cleansing, analysis, make sure we provide the value of the collected data. For example, we collect many data, but not every single piece of the data is useful. So finding the value for those data is very important. And second, we also make sure we present the actionable insight for the customer, because having this insight without any action due upon it is actually very devastating for the client. So what we'll do, we will make sure every insight that we create actually have a actionable item that attach on it. Thirdly, we'll also do data visualization, make sure we visualize data in a way that help us to present our insight. And finally, the most important part, personally, I think, is the storytelling part, whether we can tell a story based on the data and the insight that we observe from the data. So, for example, we have this insight A, B, C, D. Then what does that mean to customer? Does that mean that how it helps them to get more revenue, or does that really help them to get more orders in the website or in the app? So these kind of storytelling techniques also a very essential function for analysts. Technical skills, that's definitely very, very, very important as well. So you need to know how to manage your data, what's the best way to store data, but what's the best way to process the data, how do you run modeling, and how do you design the data in a way that actually help your client to solve their concern, how to design a database in a way that help the client to minimize the cost and also help them to get the outcome that they wanted. Data collection, the biggest part of our job is make sure we collect the data in the right way and in the right format and using a more consistent naming. So all these are very important, and that's a hard trick that we need to have this kind of technical skills to back our job. Now, we also need to know how to use SQL. That's very, very fundamental.
What is the thing that you wish more people would know about being a consultant? Yeah, okay. I think that's a great question, right? Like, a lot of people.
Hi, sorry, Robert. Can you mute your mic? Breen, are you there, Breen? Sorry for the interruption, Billy. Mr. Billy. We will settle you.
So shall I continue?
Yeah, you can continue.
Okay. So so SQL is very important. And then the other one you also need to have your programming language. For example, you need to know how to write Python, or you need to know how to write HTML or JavaScript or other kind of programming language that you need to know in order to complete the task. For me personally, I think these are the more important skills. For example, whether you are able to present more actionable insight, whether you're able to tell a story, whether you're able to visualize the data and tell the story to a customer. That's very, very important, because you need to communicate the value to your client or to your boss, or to convince other team to do whatever you want them to do. So these is very important skills. In terms of technical skills, of course, you need to know how to do SQL, you need to do how to write your programming language, and also you need to know how to collect the data, because collecting data, as many of them you might ignore, but data collection is a very big part and a very essential part for data analysts in order to make it work. So understand how data collection work, how different platforms collect data, and how they behave differently is very important to to do a good job for your client. Okay, so that's a very high-level overview of what I've done in Google and what is a very basic skills that we need for analysts. So how did I get into this industry? Because as a guy that had no technical background at all, when I first started my career back in 2015, it looks bad that I don't even have a chance to get into this data industry or even get into Google. So the way that I do it might not fit for everyone, but that's my personal experience. Is first I equip myself to ensure I have the technical skills. So this done by, for example, I will reach out to several training facilities or other online courses or boot camp or company like TalentLab that help us to grow your technical skills. I also myself, I'm very interested in the area that I'm working in. I will also watch and read all the blog that is written by those industry leaders. So understand what is the thought and understand how they think, and understand what is the technical skills required in order to get into this industry. So that's very, very important. So that's the foundation for my journey. So having all the technical skills required and make sure I can use these technical skills to convince people. Second step is I will get the entry ticket. What do I mean by entry ticket is I literally try to get into this industry by maybe asking to my current boss, or maybe by asking to the sister company for the current company, or I will simply reach out to other companies to see if they are able to offer a job for me as a junior analyst to get into this industry. Luckily, I actually get an offer from a very small company which happened to develop this kind of solution. So I get into this company with the technical skills that I acquired in step one, and I get into this company, but as a very junior person. And from there, I become very, very proactive and try to create a solution and try to pitch a client and try to talk to the bosses, and also trying to do things that is related, and using all the technical skills that I equip in step one, I actually is able to create a solution that actually works for the client. And with that opportunity, I'm able to really get into the talking to industry, start knowing people in the industry. And that is very, very important, because in order to get in this industry, you actually need to know people in this industry, and also know what is the language, and also what the expectation. So having the chance to talk to them, the chance to work with them, and also having a chance to understand what is the expectation and what is their language is very important, and especially secure a role for myself in Google. So that's how I get into this industry and get in Google right now as a data lead. Okay, so finally, I think this is my personal advice and also tips for you guys if you guys are interested in getting into this industry as a fresh graduate. So as a fresh graduate, I think even for very good university, they don't even teach you these kind of skills in university. You will have to equip these kind of skills from the internet. Unfortunately, for example, you need to join some online courses, so you need to join some company that specialize in doing these kind of training, because they know what this industry wants, or what kind of skills that these industry people want. I myself right now, our company continuously hiring people. We keep looking for people that has the right talent, but usually it's very, because no university is training fresh graduate in this way, and they don't know what they don't know, and fresh graduate doesn't know what to equip in order to get the interest from these company. So it's very important you equip with the right technical skills. So you might be studying every day and night, but you are actually studying the wrong skills. But having the right skills, having the right technical skills is definitely required for you to get into this industry. For example, would be Python, SQL, but of course there will be different conditions. You need different skill set, but these skill set will be very important. The ability to actually write it and your resume, whether you have a strong portfolio to actually show the interviewer, that you actually can write this code and to draw the result or find an insight for your customer. So these kind of skill sets is very important. And of course, if you're working for engineer, or you're working as a data engineer, or you're working as a data analyst, of course, they have different kind of skill sets that is required. That being said, you as a fresh grade, you might not know what to look for. So your best chance is you can talk to someone you know in the industry. You can interview them to ask what is required in this to get into this field. Or you can read some blog that's written by the industry people, but you might have some hard time knowing which people are the industry people. And the third way is definitely you can join some training facility, join some boot camp, which focus specifically on these tasks and these skill set, which also help you to build your portfolio and your resume. So with these in mind, I think for most of the company I know right now, they're very, very open to hire junior analysts that with these kind of skill set. The second tip is to get your entry ticket to this industry as soon as possible. So instead of keep on studying and pursuing a master's degree or a PhD in computer science or in data science or other activity, I would strongly recommend you to get the basic skills and get the interest from the interviewer and join the company as a junior analyst as soon as possible. There's no better way than know that is getting industry and get proceed in this industry. Even for all interview I'm looking at right now, some of them are a master degree, some of them even PhD, but they're still joining as a junior or maybe as a senior analyst. So if you don't have that skills, I would recommend you to join as a junior analyst, and you can just sort of develop your skills from there. In the industry, we have a lot of different kind of certificate, and we have lots of different kind of program that helps you to show your journey and show your improvement to your boss, instead of having a degree or using 3 or 5 years to get a degree and just show the interviewer that you can do work. Instead, I think the best way is you have a resume, you have the CV, you have your working experience, and also you have your referral that's actually can speak for yourself, that can show you can actually do well for yourself. So get your entry ticket as soon as possible, instead of wait until you think you are qualified to do the job. Okay, so finally, that is continuous learning for your path. So definitely there's a lot of tools and different platform language that you need to know in this industry. So keeping yourself, pushing yourself to be more proactive, I think is definitely the most important way for you to proceed in this industry. But of course, first you need to get into this industry first. But after you get into this industry, the way for you to keep on improving is you continuously learn. I myself, I still keep on learning all the new stuff and all the new tools, and also what is a new trend for the industry. So I don't even stop. So I don't think even as a junior analyst, you should stop. So if you're able to, luckily, if you're able to join as a junior analyst, I will definitely recommend you to keep looking for the next thing that you want to focus on. What is your next 3-year plan, or your next 5-year plan? Okay. And finally, you not only need to learn the hard skills, but you also need to be proactive at your role. But this part, I will focusing on 3 aspects. So first, you need to have the technical skills, and second, you will be proactive. You need to be proactive at your role, because being more proactive means you've been given more opportunity to do certain more advanced data project. And finally, you need to know how to communicate. So that's the biggest part that a lot of people might have missed, is that you will need a very good communication skills in order to convey the value to your customer. So whether it's worth it to invest in data, in data solution, or whether it's worth it to do this data solution, for most of the time, you need to communicate that value well to your customer for them to understand. Because for the investment, it's not going to be a very short-term project. You're not going to see result in 1 month. You have to wait maybe 2 to 3 months. So you need to communicate very well, and also deliver value to not only to your customer, not only to your client. If you're working for in-house company, you need to convince your boss, or you need to convince your dev team to do these kind of changes. You need, for example, you need to convince them these kind of changes make sense, and you need to use data, and you need to pull insight from data to convince them these actually works. So having a good communication skills definitely is the final puzzle for you to be able to deliver value to customer and proceed in this industry. So yeah, so I think that's it for all my sharing. Maybe a little bit shorter than we expected, but that's what I've done in Google, and what's my journey, and also what's my recommendation for you guys in order to get into the industry and also proceed in this industry. So I'll pass my time back to the host.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Billy. So to the audience, we will proceed by having a 5-minute Q&A session. However, Mr. Billy, can I request you to stop sharing your screen because I would like to display the
Yes.
Q&A session. Okay. All right.
Yes, did it.
Okay, so again, to the audience, we're going to have a 5-minute Q&A session. So you can drop your questions by accessing Slido through the chat box, or you can scan the QR code displayed on your screens, which should be displayed right about now. Okay, so I can see we already have a lot of questions actually.
Yes.
Mr. Billy, are you ready?
Because they know the importance of data, they start be more aware of collecting more data. And now they come to a certain point that they have a lot of data, very messy, but they don't know what to do with this data. And they definitely need people to guide them and also help them do the job to use this data and to monetize the data that they have collected. And at least right now, I don't see a possibility to decrease in demand. Of course, there will be a certain point that the demand is pretty saturated, but I think at least for the next 5 years, the demand is still growing, especially for Southeast Asia region, because like my company is hiring in Southeast Asia company, and I know a lot of people, a lot of companies are also hiring people in this area. So I don't think it's going to stop. The demand is still growing in this field. At least in 5 years, it might be saturated maybe in 6th or 7th year, but of course, I'm sure you can find a job for different company, and also your investment will be worth it.
All right, so the next question would be, do you have a work-life balance when you were working in Google? Sorry. I'm sorry, I stopped halfway. May you continue? I'm so sorry for that. Because the questions keep popping up, and yeah, I'll continue the question. Do you have
so I think
Oh, I'm so sorry. You can continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I think what Google did well is they provide you the option for you to choose what you want to do. You can choose the work life, or you can choose a work-life balance life, or you can choose a life balance. Oh, of course, you can choose whether you want to do focus more on work, or you want to make a balance between work and life, and you have that option. You have the right to make, and that's the best part of Google. For me myself, I think I'm pretty balanced. There's no one actually pushes you to complete your task. Well, maybe there's some slight push, but usually it's yourself to push yourself to move forward. And that's why, well, one of the reasons why I decided to leave is because I think there will be much more opportunity out there. But of course, Google is one of the greatest company.
Okay, so the next question is, what makes your shift career field in the past?
So it's kind of answer. So simply because there's more opportunity in another company, especially for different field. I think for my area, for my focus area specifically, I think there will be more opportunity. And also, there's also other reason. For example, if I'm staying at Google, maybe I'm just looking at one market. But if I'm moving to another company, I may have a chance to look at the entire region. So it's more like a career option that I've chosen to change, to shift career. And if you're talking about shifting from non-data industry to data industry, I think that's pure because I'm interested in this field. And I think that's also important for you guys. You need to find a motivation, whether this is motivating you, whether you're interested in this field, is the number one reason why you should join, and also the foundation on whether you're able to make a success in this industry.
So I think we can have another 2 more questions before we end the Q&A. The next question would be, How do you, as someone who has improved so much from zero technical skill, deal with mistakes?
Whoa, that's a good one. So, of course, you need to review your own work. You need to have that mentality that you are not providing the best option to your customer. So you need to review your recommendation from time to time to make sure you're perfecting your solution, also perfecting your technical skills. And also getting feedback from the team is very important. And I think the third things I'm doing is I will read the industry standard. So following some of the evangelists from the in this industry, and just following their Twitter, following their blog, reading their blog, you will know what are they expecting and what is the level of output standard that they are doing right now. So you will know whether you fit that standard or not. Then if you're good enough and you want to push yourself to improve, then you will know you need to do a better job and try to avoid more mistakes. And of course, I make mistakes. And of course, sometimes I need to I'll need to bear my own mistake and need to maybe I'll need a project client, or maybe I will need to do another things in order to cover my mistakes. So mistakes will happen. Don't think it's never going to happen. It's more whether you're willing to act on it, whether you're going to improve, and whether you're willing to do things to make up for the mistakes.
Okay, so I think this will be the last question. I can see we have another 10 questions, so don't worry. We're going to share this question to Mr. Billy, and we will approach back the participants to give you the answers. But yes, this is the last question. As I work in a different industry, I am interested and want to work as a data analyst part-time. Do you think it is possible?
As part-time, I think if you know someone from the company, it is possible. I think we do have part-time, but I don't think that's usual. That's common for most of the company. I think if you can try to find if you have friends or you have referral and try asking them if they need part-time. If not, I think the better way is you equip yourself with the skills, and then you start interviewing company for full-time job. And once you get that over, then you can decide whether you want to leave your current company and join this field.
Okay. I think we can fit in another question, Mr. Billy. Is that possible? Okay, so this would
that is possible.
This would definitely be the last question. Could you talk more about how did you get into Google? Like the interview process, selection process, etc. Which platform do you use to apply for the position?
Regarding the interview selection process, I'm not sure if you guys are providing that kind of advice, but when I'm doing it, of course, I need to go through the process of being interviewed multiple times. And I think the most important things during the process, you need to understand the Google language, understand what they're expecting, and understand what kind of area are they asking and what is expected answer from them. They do have an expected answer. They do have a kind of like an official answer to a certain question. You need to present your answer methodically. You need to present the solution in a way that fits what they're expecting. So fitting the Google value. So you need to be able to understand their language and understand what is the kind of like the model answer from them. The platform, I just use a normal job seeking platform, or just apply in their website directly.
All right, so that marks up the first Q&A session. To the audience, fret not, we will get back to you with answers for the other questions. And thank you, Mr. Billy Kwan, for the insightful sharing. I believe that all participants have gained many useful info for the career as the data scientist, and I'm pretty sure most of the audience right now are sending their applications to Google. So now we're going to move on to the next session. Allow me to introduce our next speakers, Mr. Darren Chu and Mr. Sean Yip from TalentLabs. Passing the session to Mr. Sean, the floor is yours.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Karina, for the thorough introduction. Okay, before I proceed, just checking with the floor. Can everybody view my screen? I'm
Yes,
on.
we can see your screen very
Okay.
clear.
All right. I'm on full screen mode. Okay, cool. All right. So, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining in on an early Saturday morning. To those of you who are in, what myself and Darren, we have something very exciting to share with you. I think it flows very, very well to from Billy's presentation into how he got into Google and where he got to where he is today by acquiring the skills or the future skills needed in today's job market and certainly the job market for the next 10 to 15 years. So the program that we're here to introduce to you is called the MySTEP program, the MySTEP TalentLabs program. Now, this program, to give you a gist of it, it's something that was initiated by the Ministry of Finance here in Malaysia, and it's also endorsed by Khazanah. We are working with another partner company called GKK Consultants, and basically what it does is that it's for unemployed fresh graduates. The program is 6 months long. It provides upskilling opportunities as well as job placement opportunities to students, fresh graduates who have ambitions to dive into the technology industry. Okay. So let me just give you a quick program overview. And to those of you who are non-fresh graduates, fret not. You can always still check us out on our website, talentlabs.org, or also follow us on our social media platforms on Instagram and Facebook, and you can certainly find other programs that may be suitable for you at your current level. But for today, we're talking about MySTEP. So in the MySTEP program, we have two parties involved who are implementing the program. The first being us, TalentLabs. We are the training provider. We are a technology school. We have our own learning management system where you can log in, you can access multiple learning resources and also get in touch with a community of technologists, students, and further grow your network in the technology community. The second partner that we have on board in this program is GKK Consultants. And I failed to mention earlier that this MySTEP program is actually a 6-month long program. And not only do you learn and also get working experience from this program, for 6 months, you also get paid by doing this. Okay, so you get paid 2,000 ringgit a month gross salary, 2,000 ringgit a month gross salary to join this program. No other program out there that I know of gives you opportunities to learn and also get working experience and getting paid at the same time. Okay. So having said that, GKK is our partner that helps us in hiring you and also paying out your salary at the end of the month throughout this program. Okay, now to give you a quick overview of how the program roughly looks like, it's a 6-month long talent development program, all right, where the first 2 months is online training. So so our instructors like Darren and his team, and his team of instructors would upskill you in areas of software engineering, data analytics, digital marketing, or even technology management. Upskill you for the next 2 months, and then we would then place you in host companies where you would do 4 months of on-the-job training. Now, this essentially is your practical training where you are placed in one of our partner companies for a 4-month working experience. And we have several host companies or partner companies that are on board this program, such as Unilever, Fave, Droppy, 2X, CIMB, Samsung, just to name a few. Okay, I'll share with you a little bit more companies who are involved later at the end of my presentation. Okay, so who are we looking for to come into this program? No, first of all, it is open to unemployed fresh graduates. Okay, Malaysian unemployed fresh graduates. We're looking for anybody. We're looking for people who are coming from technical background or even non-technical background. Okay, you can come from an art stream or even from a science stream. We're more than welcome. We're more than happy to welcome you. Just apply for the program, and we would process your application just like any other application. Okay, we're also looking for those who have outstanding interpersonal skills, those who are result driven, those who are agile, and those who have a positive attitude. Okay, now this program is 6 months long, so it does require some form of commitment throughout the 6 months. So we are looking for those who are committed from start to finish. That's very, very important. And the next thing is those who have strong computational thinking and problem solving skills. I think Billy pointed out in one of his slides earlier that these analytical minds or future ways of thinking is very, very important, very, very key in succeeding to succeed in a career in technology, especially if you're coming in from a more technical standpoint, whether that's software engineering, programming, or even data analytics or data scientist background. These skills are very, very important. Okay. All right, moving on to part 2, the course structure, content. Right. So like I mentioned earlier, the programs that we are offering for our MySTEP program, we have 4 different streams. First being data analytics, software engineering, technology management, and digital marketing. So as an applicant, you can come in and apply for any one of these courses. Okay. Quick overview of it. Data analytics are for those who want to dive into a career as a data scientist, business analyst, maybe even business intelligence. This is where you want to be. All right. And for software engineering, it's where the creators want to be. Okay. Those of you who want to be coders, those of you who want to be programmers, developers, backend engineers, front-end engineers, this is where you want to go into. Okay. Technology management are for those who want to those aspiring technology managers and leaders who want to understand future technologies or future concepts on how to improve efficiency or also improve ways of working. All right, now over here in this course, we also take a deep dive into new sort of or emerging technology topics like blockchain or AI and other similar areas. And last but not least, digital marketing. So over here, what's interesting about the program that we offer in digital marketing is that we do not just cover the design or advertisement side of digital marketing, but we also heavily cover the technical side of digital marketing, where we also look into the analytics side. all right, how to improve your digital marketing performance, and how to use data, how to leverage on data, and improve your clients or your own company's advertising through digital marketing. All right, so you can choose any one of these 4 tracks: 2 months of online training in either one of these courses, followed by 4 months of practical training in one of our host companies, and also this is a certified program. So after completing it, you would also be accredited, or sorry, you will also be awarded with a certificate that is certified or recognized by not only TalentLabs but also UTHM. So we have another higher learning education institution that's also endorsing this program. Coming out of this program, you have a certificate, or you have a certificate that's very, very well recognized in the industry. Okay. The structure of the program not only covers technical training in the forms of digital marketing, data analytics, and so on, but we also cover two other important areas. The first being career management and employability support. So we also do help you in your CV writing, in your interview skills, and career coaching, and really what's the best ways for you to approach when the time comes for you to apply for a job. Okay, how do you present yourself? How do you approach a certain interview? These are all very, very important. Like Billy mentioned earlier, before as he was applying to Google, he had to do a little bit of homework. He had to do a little bit of research into Google and try to and sort of get to know or understand those answers that are I would say maybe template answers, those that are that carries the Google value. Okay, so this homework is very, very important, and that's something that we would also coach in your career management and employability support. The other area is commercial acumen and workplace skills. So this is where all the soft skills training come into place. Okay, so like Billy pointed out earlier, again in one of his slides, he said that it's good to have all of the technical skills, but what's more important is the storytelling skills, or the data visualization skills, and how you really present the data to the client, or how do you and how that information is useful for them. So this is where we coach you or teach you in business presentation skills, communication skills, personal branding, and all the other soft skills you need to thrive in the workplace. So for this part, for the next part in the course content, I'm going to pass it over to Darren. He'll walk you through what are the things that you can expect to learn from our course. Over to you, Darren.
Okay, thank you, Sean. So yeah, for this part, so of course there are a lot of materials, of a lot of content that we are going to cover in this program, but of course I'm not going to go deep down into everything, but just on a high level overview. So there are a couple of programs. Let me introduce them one by one to you. So for data analytics, so we are going to cover a few things. Of course, you need the strong foundation, as Billy mentioned. So that's why we will start with some programming language that are pretty handy and useful, including Python and also SQL. So both of them are very useful and also like common technologies that is being used by the industry right now. So after learning about these basics, we will actually move on to another module, which is called data analytics in a nutshell. So what that will be doing is like, we are going to teach you from scratch about the data analytics process. So how do you start a project? And when you started a project, you need to do data cleaning, you need to plot some graphs, charts, you need to run some metrics, etc. And of course, finally, you need to create a report for your manager or for your client. So that is what we are going to cover in this part 3 data analytics in a nutshell. And at the end, we are going to also arrange some executive leadership skills training for you. So basically, no matter which role or which industry you are in, you will always need to have some sort of leadership skills. So that's why we have those leadership training delivered by UTHM. So this is kind of an overview of data analytics. So throughout the process, you are going to use different technologies like Python, SQL, and also most importantly, you know how to apply them in real world. Yeah, so this is the data analytics program. Next page. Yeah, so in terms of the curriculum, if you're going to enroll in our software engineering program, so the structure is similar. So we'll start with some basics, but this time the basics, there will be 3 modules of basics, including JavaScript, including SQL, and also HTML and CSS. So these programming languages or tools will basically equip you with all the foundations as a full stack developer, so that you can cover some of the backends, cover some of the front end, and also cover some of the database stuff. So once you have the foundation, then we are also going to equip you with the practical skills. So that's why we have a software engineering essential module at the end. So in that module, what we are going to do is we are going to teach you all the practical tools, including you might heard of it already, about like Git and GitHub. And also we are going to talk about what is cloud, what's cloud computing. We are going to teach you how to deploy your software application. Let's say if you develop a mobile app, or let's say if you develop a web page, how do you put it online so that everyone can see it? We are also going to cover that, as well as software project management, because the way or the tools to manage a software project is quite different from other projects. So we are going to introduce you the methodology and also how to do testing for software. So that is also what we are going to cover. And same as the data analytics program, we are going to do a leadership skills program with UTHM as well, so that you are not only equipped with hard skills, but also the soft skills. Yeah, so next page. Yeah, so for this part, this is about the technology management program. I know that not everyone is want to go into a technical career path. Not everyone will want to do coding all day. So some of you will actually join the industry as a project manager, or what we say technology manager. So what does that do? So that is basically helping the company to identify what are the good product direction, to identify what are the good technologies that they are going to use. In order to do that, there are basically 2 types of skills. So first part is that you need to understand technology first, of course. So that's why we have arranged 2 parts, which is the part 1 and also part 2, to go through all the latest technology in the industry. So throughout this process, throughout this course, you are going to understand what is internet, what is mobile computing, as well as those trending topics, like all those buzzwords. There are a lot of buzzwords about AI, about IoT, about big data and data science, etc. We are going to go through each of these topics so that we prepare you as a technology manager, because you need to understand technology before you can manage it, right? And then after learning about all this basic stuff, we are going to move on about some business skills, okay? We are going to teach you how to understand a problem, how to analyze a problem using root cause analysis, how do you analyze the competition in the market, and also scoping the problem, and also how to basically manage the impact of your project. So that is what we are going to do in the part 3. And of course, all sorts of business course only comes into, I would say, it will only be useful if you're going to work on an actual project. So before the end, we are going to introduce you a capstone project that is going to spend you 2 weeks to solve a problem for a company. So that is in the part 4. And of course, we will also have the leadership training to provide you with the soft skills. Yeah, so this is the technology management part. You're going to learn about all the technologies, as well as how to create a new project in technology. Yeah, so next page, please. Yeah, so last but not least, of course, is the digital marketing skills. So no matter how good is a product, no matter even you've got a really good engineering team, you've got a really good technology manager to help you in building a product, you also need to promote it into the market. So that's why we have this digital marketing program. So we are going to first start by talking about what exactly marketing is. Why do you want to go online? So after you're going into online, there are a lot of technical stuff involved. Okay, a lot of people believe that like marketing is just about like bluffing, about how to create good creatives, create videos, etc. But actually, that's not the case. As we are moving on to digital marketing, actually there are a lot of technical pieces, a lot of like nuts and bolts that you can work on. For example, there are some analytics, social trend analytics. There are a lot of like marketing research, and also in terms of like designing your app, in terms of where you are going to put the advertising on the internet, how to optimize your performance on like Google search engine, and also different email marketing tools as well. So we are going to go through a high level overview and also some hands-on training on those, so that you throughout this course, you will understand the whole life cycle from building a product, from bringing your product online, until like placing some ads, and also measuring the result of digital marketing. So that's what we are going to go through in this program. And at the end, again, we are going to have the UTHM to provide you with some soft skills training on leadership side. So that is the digital marketing skills program. And after completing this course, you should be able to understand everything in digital marketing. You should be able to understand all the terms, as well as using some of those tools as a entry-level digital marketer. Yeah, so this is what I'm going to cover. So I'll pass it back to Sean.
Okay, thanks, Darren. Moving on to part 3, coming on board into TalentLabs, who are our instructors, who are our advisors that are involved in this program. Now, before I come to that, you should all know that our team of instructors come from the world's leading universities and companies. They've worked in places like Google, Grab, Clover, Microsoft, IBM, and graduated from top universities like MIT, Hong Kong University, and so on. And all of them are also highly accomplished in their own respective fields. We've got instructors who are Kaggle masters, meaning that they're considered to be the top 1% in the world in the field of data science. We've got product leads in machine learning and digital marketing. We've got product leads in AI and autonomous driving. We've got our instructors have also been a part of or involved in competitions when it comes to robotics and Olympiads. So you will be learning from a team of highly accomplished individuals. And the learning doesn't just start and stop in whatever we present in the course materials. We do have an online community, or we have a community within TalentLabs, and we have a community over on Discord. And learning takes on many forms, not just in class, but also outside of class, where we network, where we learn about each other's backgrounds, each other's stories, each other's life lessons, each other's career stories. So these are the kinds of things you can expect to learn and experience when you join us. Okay, so some of our instructors here, Darren, who's on the call right now. Darren was also formerly from Google. We also have Prof. Afandi, who is our lead instructor over at UTHM. Anthony, Peter, Charlotte, Carl, and Libian, also respectively, who have previously had experience in Clover, Google, and they have also co-founded some technology startup companies. So feel free to read their backgrounds. There are obviously more, and from time to time we will also bring in some special guests, like today Billy, tomorrow somebody else, to also share their experiences, share their backgrounds, and also give you an insight into the industry. Maybe, for example, what's a day in the life of a data scientist, what's a day in the life in a digital marketer or a project manager, so that you don't just learn the technical side of it, but you also understand and know what is expected out of you in the industry, and whatever technical things we teach you in the course can only take you so far. To go above and beyond that, you need to understand culture, you need to understand, you also need to understand how to also talk to clients, and also develop your soft skills in general. Okay, so here are our hiring partners. Okay, here are more of them. So Unilever, Samsung, CIMB, even companies from emerging markets such as Happy Fresh or Luno are also on board. Naluri and Hong Leong, just to name a few. All right, so you would do your 4 months in one of these companies, and depending on your performance, post 4 months, if you perform very well, there is a very high chance that you can be permanently absorbed into these companies. And that's also what we hope. We hope that you would achieve out of this program. Okay, so you come on board with us, you learn and you earn, you get a little bit of practical training and being placed in one of these companies. You perform well based off what we have taught you in the first 2 months, and then eventually you get your permanent position into these companies, and that's where your career starts. So that's what we hope. That's the ultimate outcome of this program. Okay. And that brings our presentation to a close. If you are interested to find out more or even apply, head on over to mystep.telelabs.org. We have intakes in June and April. June and April left available. So for June intake, the closing date for June intake would be the 20th of May. So if you're a fresh graduate, or you are a student who has finished your final semester, you're looking for a job, you're looking for any upskilling opportunities, apply for the June intake. That's closing on the 20th of May, and those of you who are maybe graduating a little bit later, you can try out for the July intake. Okay, so that's all for my presentation. Thank you so much to everybody for listening. I'll pass it back to the MC.
Thank you, Mr. Sean and Mr. Darren. So again, we will have another Q&A session. So if I could just share my screen. I'm sorry, Mr. Sean, but yeah, okay. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so let's just start straight away. The first question, I'll actually combine these two questions. How is the training to be conducted? Is it on-the-job training, can be time flexible? And the first 2 months are conducted remotely, but how is the 4-month on-job training to be conducted? Is it on-site?
Yeah, that's a good question. One that we get quite a lot also. So I think the first 2 months is very straightforward. It's online training. You can take it wherever you may be in Malaysia, KL, or even Sabah, Sarawak. For the 4 months on the job training, what happens is that once you're into the program, and at the end of month 1 or beginning of month 2, we would share with you a list or give you access to apply to our host companies that I mentioned earlier. All right. So most of these companies are based in KL. However, some of them do have offices outside of KL. But the majority of these companies also offer positions that are accommodating to remote working arrangements. So whether you are in Sabah, Sarawak, or anywhere else in Malaysia, you can still apply for Faith or Hong Leong, for example, who are based in KL, but they offer positions that accommodate remote working. Hence, you can do work that is assigned to you from Johor, from Penang, or from wherever else.
Thank you, Mr. Sean, for the answer. The next question is, will TalentLab assign the company for the job on training, or do we get to choose which company that we like to?
Yeah, so you get to choose. So on our platform, we also have a job application function. Okay, so you can see a list of companies, a list of positions available. You can read the job description, and you can apply from the same platform. The same platform, from the same platform.
Okay, next question. I think I'll go with this question because it's quite interesting. Only Malaysian student can apply for this program? How about international student?
Yeah, so we love to welcome international students on board to this program, but unfortunately we can't. It is a government initiative and it's only open to Malaysians. But for international students, you can head on over to our website, talentlabs.org, and you can check out other programs that are open to non-Malaysians as well.
Okay, so the next question is, I'm about to graduate after this July. Can I register myself to this training program?
This question needs a little bit more detail. When you say graduating in July, graduating after July, meaning to say after July is your convocation, or are you currently done with your studies and you are job seeking? So I'll answer it from both point of views. Our last intake is July. So if you are studying, if you're still studying, even past July, then this program would have closed already by then. Okay, but you can always check us out on our social medias, on our website, and keep up to date into future programs and what else and other things we have. And the other point of view is that if your convocation is after July but you've already finished your studies, then you're more than welcome to apply for the June or even July intake.
Okay, thank you for the answer. The next question. Can students who are currently pursuing degree in computer science and currently seeking for an internship can join this program?
Okay, so unfortunately, no, because this program is for fresh graduates. All right, whether you are a diploma student or a degree student, you can apply, but it's for graduates. I think this question is coming from the point of view that are still in your studies. You're potentially in your second or third year, and you want to do this program alongside your studies and do the 4 months training as part of your internship. Unfortunately, that's something that we cannot accommodate to, because because after the 4 months into one of our host companies, there is a chance that you can get absorbed permanently into that company. And if you are still currently studying, that would be quite difficult to to do. So hence this program is only for graduates.
All right. I can see we have a lot of questions, Mr. Sean, so maybe we can have another 5 if it's okay with you, and Mr. Darren as well. Okay. So the next question is, am I qualified to join this program without CS IT background, but only self-taught knowledge in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React JavaScript?
Yeah, of course, definitely. We have many applicants who are also in the same boat as the person who asked this question. We've had students who came from accounting background, who came from biotech background, or came from pharmaceutical backgrounds, but they're self-taught in SQL, in C++ programming, etc. And they applied for our programs, and we also accepted some of them. So yeah, you're more than welcome to apply.
That sounds really great. And the next question is, will there be a selection process for participating students?
Yes, so we do either one. So there could be an assessment sent out to you, or we would also invite you for an interview. So after you have applied, you can expect either an assessment or an interview to be for you to complete.
All right, so the next question. Any student side project you have done or to recommend us to do for pursuing a data scientist machine learning role in the industry? I believe all speakers can answer this since this is quite a general question.
Maybe let's start from me. So I think and if you want to become a data scientist or machine learning role, of course, the first step is that you need to learn all those basics, because without basic knowledge, then you won't be able to do any side project. But as a next step, actually there is a platform, what we call is like Kaggle.com. Let me send the link in the chat to everyone. So on this platform, there are actually a lot of data analysts or machine learning project on this platform. So starting from the really easy one, really beginner one, to the really advanced and complicated ones. So a lot of the people, once they learn all the basics, then they will use this platform as practice. So, but yeah, so I think this is one good platform that you can try. Another way to practice is really for you to set up your own website or create an app, or if you got some friends who are creating apps or personal website, you can help them in setting up some analytics metrics for their website. Maybe you can install Google Analytics or some other analytics tools and to collect data. And once you have those data, then you can start doing some sort of analysis or side project on your own. Yeah. But if you don't bother to do all the setup, then yeah, Kaggle.com is your friend.
Thank you, Mr. Darren, for the answer. Mr. Sean or Mr. Billy, if you would like to add on anything, or not, we can proceed to the next question. Okay, so I believe, okay, Mr. Sean, you would like to speak?
No, I don't have any. I think Darren answered the question already.
Okay, right. So I believe we can fit in another 2 more questions. Let me select some of the important questions. Okay, this one looks important. Just curious, is it possible to pursue one foundation track and pursue some modules that interest the student from other foundation tracks?
Okay. Not at the same time. I think the best approach for this is that so I think there are 2 ways to approach this. Through the program, you are only allowed, through the MySTEP program, you're only allowed to choose one. Okay. Now, post program, and I think maybe Brianne can also step in and give a high level introduction to this. But after the foundation program, there is also something that we are introducing called MySTEP Plus, and this allows you to specialize in a certain field within your foundation track. If you're taking software engineering, then you can then as you are doing your 4 months on the job, you can also pursue a deep dive into a specialization track in MySTEP Plus. The second option also is in a way slightly indirect on how you can learn other foundation tracks, but in our community at TalentLabs, our Discord server has many channels. You can also interact with students who are also not from your program. You can also, so if you're a software engineering student, you can also engage and interact with data analytics students, digital marketing students, and etc. So you can always share knowledge, share maybe share lessons also from one of our channels in our Discord server. Maybe I'll hand it over to Brian to maybe also give you a little bit of high level into into my first approach.
Thanks, Sean. So basically what Sean said is correct. So for MySTEP, you can only pursue one foundation track. So it's one out of the 4 courses that we offer. But we are also trying to introduce another thing called MySTEP Plus, which means that after you've completed your foundation course, which is the first 2 months of online training, you can proceed to our more advanced courses. So for example, if you are a student from the FC foundation course in data analytics, for example, you can then proceed to our certified associate course, which is a professional course in data analytics after you've completed your FC course. And that's what we will be introducing in the upcoming intake, and it's called MySTEP Plus. But if you are interested to pursue some other modules during the first 2 months of online training, it's possible, but you will have to do it, first of all, at your own time, and you have to make sure that you're able to juggle all of the courses that you sign up for. And second of all, you have to do it at your own via talentlabs.org rather than be part of the MySTEP program. So I hope that clarifies everything in this question.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Sean and Ms. Brian, for the comprehensive answer. So this will be the last question before I would give a chance to other participants to ask their questions directly by unmuting their mic. Okay, so the last question would be, how many person will be selected for each intake of the MySTEP program?
Okay, so that depends. Yeah, it really depends. We are given a certain allocation by Kazana, and we've basically onboarded in batches in April and also in May and now upcoming in June of these batches. You can expect to come in if you come in for the June intake. We currently have a large community, but it's not only from the MySTEP program. There are also other students from different programs that are also in the community. So if you were to come in, if you were to come in into June, you could easily be in a community that's 300 plus, maybe touching 400. So this community is consists of instructors, consists of mentors, consists of students from different programs and different tracks. So it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend if you apply and if you get in, to also be engaging in our community.
Thank you, Mr. Shah. Okay, so I can see that I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but Ms. Kisenthiran is asking a question if they can unmute and ask directly. So if you would like to ask now.
Very good morning. My name is Kishan. I'm from Ipoh, and I'm a first year student. I'm a first year student from University of Malaysia Sabah, and I'm taking in international banking and finance. And my question is, after pursuing my degree and finishing up my degree, I know it's a long way to go. Is that possible for me to join these kind of programs in data scientist and data analysis? Do I need any background from like CSS or JavaScript or any IT field? Is Is that do I need all those backgrounds to join these programs?
Hi, Kishan. First off, hats off to you for unmuting and asking directly. So to answer your question, no, you don't need to have any sort of computer science background to apply, although it does help, especially if you're interested to go for the more technical routes like software engineering or data analytics. Okay. However, however, to your question about similar program in the future, I can't really say now because it is a long ways ahead. Hopefully, in the future, when you graduate, there will be a similar program, and you're more than welcome to apply. But if you're looking for something today, again, you can also check out our social media. You can check out our website. We do have courses that are, I would say, something that you could do part-time. Maybe Darren can come in and also give a bit of insight into our M1 courses. So I think that's something that you could also do alongside your studies, or if you are working, and at least that would give you the stepping stone or foundation knowledge, so that when you do graduate 3 to 4 years from now, you have that background, and you know you're more used to being in, to understanding our how we do things at TalentLabs, and you can then go on for our more foundation, our more higher courses like the foundation level or the certified associate level. So let me hand the mic over to Darren to maybe give some overview of our M1 courses.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Sean. So basically, for those who are not graduating yet, because you cannot join the MySTEP program, but actually we offer a list of a series of M1 program. So M1 program is basically an introductory course to computer science and also to the industry. So we have M1 program in each of different programming language, like we have M1 in Python, M1 in JavaScript, M1 in SQL. Basically, for each of the technology area, we have an introductory course, which we call M1. So I guess if you are interested in that, you can basically join those programs and then learn the basics. For example, you learn the basics about Python programming. And then later on, as you are progressing, you can consider go for advanced program, or maybe when you're graduating, you can actually join the future batches. I don't know what are the programs in a couple of years, but for sure, there will be some sort of programs that you can participate when you are graduating.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I think we can fit in one last question, as we have around 1 or 2 minutes before the event ends. So to participants, if you would like to unmute your mic, this is your last chance to ask the final question. So maybe someone can type in the chat that they want to unmute, and I'll cue your name. Okay, is there anyone who would like to ask their question directly to any of the speakers? Any takers? Okay, so I guess not. Then maybe we can take a question from the slide displayed here. Let's see another interesting question. Okay, I feel like this is a quite good question. What would you say the best way to network? Join any competition, internship? I feel like this question can be answered by all of the speakers.
I'll kick things off. I think when it comes to networking, it's always a give and take. You need to be engaging for others to engage with you. You need to be open. You need to be able to. I mean, you need to be confident to approach people, and you also need to be approachable yourself. When you are engaging and you enjoy meeting new people, you have to be open to new ideas, to common ideas, and sometimes even conflicting ideas. All right, so that's always a given when you want to network. All right, not all of it is when I say conflicting ideas, not all of it is sometimes bad. Sometimes conflicting ideas can make you better. Can also make the person who has the conflicting idea better, because you are exchanging ideas, and you are essentially uh, getting a new point of view of of a topic that you may not have realized before. Um, but yeah, the best way to network is just to be open, and you can do it on any platform. Those days, it used to be that you have to go for an event, you have to go to a seminar, or you have to go to a forum. Today, you can do it online. You can do it on Discord. You can do it on what's that? You can do it on Reddit. You can do it anywhere. You can do it online. You can so so um, I think it's not where it doesn't matter which platform you choose to network. It's more on you yourself as the person, whether and whether or not you are open to the idea of networking, and being open, and also being brave to engage. That's my take on this question.
Well said, Mr. Sean. Ms. Darren or Mr. Billy, if you would like to add on anything else?
Yeah, I want to echo to what Sean just mentioned. Actually, there are a lot of platforms that you can go onto for knowing about people, not only in Malaysia, not only in Asia, actually globally. So, for example, like what I just mentioned, like there is a data science competition platform called Kaggle, right? So I know that a lot of my friends, actually one of our instructor shared with me that when he was joining the competition and events on Kaggle, he actually made a lot of friends in the data area globally, not only in Asia, but also in Europe, in US as well, and they can work together on those data science projects. So what I would say is like just open to those opportunities, and then try to actively participate on all these different online communities like Kaggle, Reddit, or Discord. Then you will make a lot of friends. So I know that there are some coding or technology learning Discord channel that you can join. And of course, like if you are joining TalentLabs, like we got our own Discord server that you can make friends, and we also organize some sort of like networking session as well. So from all these platforms, as long as you are open to make friends, as long as you are open to talk to people, then you are going to make a lot of friends in the industry.
Thank you, Mr. Darren. Mr. Billy, if you would like to answer as well, or I can end the session here.
I think that's pretty much it. I think yeah, I think with obviously face now Discord is the better community. So I suggest watch out for all the community in Discord.
Of course. Okay, so that marked our Q&A session. So to the participants right now, as I can see, there's like still 14 questions left. We will get back to you the answers for these questions. And here marks the end of our TalentLabs and UM MySTEP 2022 sharing session. Thank you to our speakers, Mr. Billy Kwan, Mr. Darren Chiu, and Mr. Sean Yip, as well as the TalentLabs representative, Mrs. Brian, as well as our participants for spending your time here. Hope all of you have enjoyed this session. So before we end this session, I would like to request everyone to open the camera for the photo taking session. So everyone, if you could open your cameras, give your smiles. We'll be having two photos. This one would be GDS photo. Okay, so Joanne, are you ready to take a picture?
Yep, sure. We will wait a while for everyone to open up their camera.
All right.
Okay, wait for another 10 seconds for them to open up their cameras, and then we'll take the photo. Hi, Juliana. We saw that you are in a crowd. Thank you for still attending the session, although you are, yeah, not very.
No worries. Thank you.
Okay, so we will take the photo now. Smile, 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Julian, do you want another photo using the JSC logo? All
I think
right,
it's fine.
okay. All right, so thank you everyone for tuning in. And for those who are asking if it's possible to have the recording of this event, we will get back on you soon with an email whether you can access this recording or not. So goodbye and have a nice day. If you have any questions, you can email us at GDSCUM, or you can reach us out on our socials. You may also connect with our speakers, where I believe their socials have been dropped in the chat box as well. Wishing you all the best in your career and developer endeavors. I am Karina, signing off. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.